He is now seated in the trial of a former Greensboro police officer named Matthew Hamilton. He is charged with manslaughter in a shooting death while he was on duty back in 2021. WXI 12's Sarah Sowers joins us live with some of today's developments. Sarah, what happened today?
Kenny, there was a lot that happened today in court, so I'm going to try my best to catch you up to speed on just some of the things that happened. First off, in the morning, 12 jurors and 3 alternate jurors were selected and confirmed by the judge to serve in the duration of this trial. The judge wanted to remind the public that they would be held in contempt of court if they spoke with potential jurors or chosen jurors, and addressed the fact that the members of law enforcement could wear uniforms if they so choose, although the district attorney said that that goes against GPD and GCSO policy. Both the state and the defense gave their opening statements today to the jurors, where they each shared their narrative of events from the night that Hamilton fatally shot Joseph Lopez in September 2021. The two sides mostly agreed about the narrative of events leading up to the deadly shooting, but also added additional details pertaining to Lopez's prior convictions and interactions with law enforcement just 4 days prior to his death. The state called up 3 witnesses for this case. One of those witnesses was the victim's father, Joe Lopez, who said he did not want to stay for the duration of the trial because he wants to remember his son outside of what happens in the courtroom. The state asked him questions about his son, and the defense played audio from his interview with FBI agents, including the information that Lopez was bipolar, but not taking his medication. The state then called a woman who knew Lopez because he was close with her daughter. She said Lopez had been staying on his couch at his home, but his demeanor had changed over the few months that she knew him, and he was not allowed to stay at her home. She recounted that the night of the shooting, Lopez drove up to the front door of her home and attempted to break into the back of her home. She said she was frightened and called police, and remembers seeing police in her backyard near a shed, hearing dogs barking, and hearing one single gunshot. The defense will cross-examine her tomorrow. Body camera footage was also addressed in court. The state's third and final witness for the day was a GPD officer on duty at the time of the shooting. She spoke about her body-worn camera being on during the incident and remembering details of how law enforcement surrounded the shed when they thought Lopez was inside. The state would like to include her body camera video as evidence at a total of 33 minutes, but the judge ruled that there was not enough time to view it today and released court earlier than expected. The judge continued to say that court would resume tomorrow morning at 9:30 with all of the jury present and the defense being able to cross-examine those witnesses that the state brought forward, as well as show that body camera footage to the entire jury. Live in Greensboro, Sarah Sowers, WXII 12 News.